Something that's interested me for a very long time, especially on YouTube, is lost media. And if you don't know what that is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's media, whether music, videos, etc., that just happens to be lost in time. Some of it is recovered, while others are lost in an infinite void. No pun intended. Well, what if I were to tell you that there were 3 short-form documentaries that were produced in the Bioshock Infinite universe? What if I were to tell you that there were 2 episodes based on Columbia, and technically, even though the first episode isn't available, there are 2 episodes that are based on Rapture? Well, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at those short-form documentaries. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy Bioshock Infinite's Lost Documentaries. Now, this is from a show called Truth from Legend. The first episode is going to focus more on the founding as well as the secession of Columbia, and then in episode 2, we learn more about Songbird. So let's jump in to episode 1 and break down that documentary.
(1893), the world's Columbian Exposition, a gathering of the greatest technological feats the world had ever seen. But one exhibit stood out above the rest: the floating city of Columbia. The result of the inexhaustible determination and vision of one man, Zachary Comstock.
And the Lord saw the wickedness of man was great, and he repented he had made man on the earth.
A self-proclaimed prophet who championed the founding fathers of America with an almost religious fervor. For a time, Columbia was the pride of the United States, but tension with the new McKinley administration was building. In 1901, that tension boiled over as Columbia, against the United States' wishes, put a violent end to the Boxer Rebellion in Peking, China. Congress demanded Columbia's immediate return to sovereign soil. Instead, the city seceded from the Union. In March of 1981, a mysterious building was found high in the Alps, a building that had fallen out of the sky. Inside, a treasure trove of Columbian artifacts, many of which may hold the key to unlocking the mysteries of Columbia, and others that raise new and troubling questions. What caused Columbia's secession? Where did it disappear to all those years ago? And most importantly, where is the rest of the city? Join us as we attempt to separate truth from legend.
So what I love about episode 1, besides the overall production and narration value of it, is the fact that it gives a lot of information and context before the events of Bioshock Infinite, which I find absolutely incredible, and I wish more games did stuff like this. So obviously it gives us more context as to what Comstock was thinking at that point in time. Obviously with him hearing and speaking to angels and stuff like that, which is absolute bullshit. You guys know this already. If you've played through Infinite, you knew that he was going to secede from the United States essentially and create his own city, because that was his prophecy. And it's just awesome that they also incorporated a marketing tactic as well. The artifacts that was in the building that fell from Columbia were at one point in time things that you could actually purchase, like the Murder of Crows bottle, the Skyhook, and I believe the booklet as well came in one of the collector's editions. So bravo to that, bravo to the production value of episode 1, and bravo to the narration and all of the context provided within that video. Now, let's go on to part 2 and learn a little bit more about Songbird, shall we?
Columbia may have faded from public view, but stories of the floating city persisted, each one more fanciful than the next. The most well-known was that of the songbird, a monstrous creature that captured the imaginations of people around the world, even spawning this children's nursery rhyme: "Songbird, songbird, see him fly, drop the children from the sky. When the young ones misbehave, escorts children to their grave." Skeptics denounced it as a mere children's fable, until the emergence of this footage dated 1912. Many theories arose concerning the creature's origins and purpose. The most widely accepted was that of a watchful guardian, protecting the city from foreign invaders. But the evidence found in the Alps suggests something else entirely. That the songbird's purpose may not have been to keep something out, but something in. This, the Lamb of Columbia. A child revered by all, and yet held captive by the bird. What was so threatening about this child that it required such a monstrous guardian? Many questions remain as we continue to separate truth from legend.
Now, I love what they do in episode 2 as well, especially with how they present Songbird. First and foremost, they ask two very important questions, and we know the answers to those in-game, but if you're a person that's on the outside looking in, what does Songbird do for Columbia? Does it protect the city, or does it protect someone? And I love how they present that. And again, with all of the relics and all of the cargo that essentially dropped in the Alps again, it's more marketing using replicas that were purchasable at one point in time, being able to tie those into this story, and tying Songbird and the Lamb of Columbia, as we know is Elizabeth, into this amazingly well-produced short-form documentary. And again, it just makes me want more. And it sucks that there's only 3 episodes total in all of this. But I wish there were more. That's all I'm going to say. I wish there were more. I love how it's presented. And I love that Songbird is taken very seriously within this episode as well. Because at the time, the United States didn't know if it were a threat to the United States or if it was something that was just to protect Columbia itself. So very well done in this episode. Now, let's move on to the Rapture one. And this one is going to tie very much into Burial at Sea episode 2, and more specifically Sally, but we'll get to that when we break down the episode afterwards. So let's check this one out.
Previously on Fact from Myth, we discussed the fabled underwater city of Rapture, thought to be mere fantasy until a steamer trunk of artifacts washed up on the New England coast. But despite the findings, no living person has ever been connected with the lost city. That is, until now. Acting on a tip from an anonymous source, we tracked down a woman in upstate New York who allegedly grew up in Rapture. We showed her the objects in the hope that she could provide some clarity on their origins and significance. That's when this happened. Of all the pictures, what was it about this painting in particular that provoked such a strong reaction? Who are these people, and what was their connection to the woman in upstate New York? Many questions remain as we attempt to uncover fact from myth.
So again, this just leaves me wanting more, but I find this episode in particular to be the most interesting. Obviously, they found a steamer trunk that washed ashore. They saw things like an Eve hypo, a masquerade mask, essentially stuff that you can buy again, marketing, I know, but it tells a wonderful story that someone from Rapture made it to the surface. Now, I want you to keep in mind when I said that this ties into Burial at Sea. So, they act on an anonymous tip about a woman living in New York. When they show this woman, who happens to be older now and has blonde hair, keep that in mind, when she gets to the picture of Booker and Elizabeth dancing, she freaks out, gets angry, throws the pictures, and slams the door. This is Sally. Yeah, this is Sally from episode 2. Apparently, after Jack saved her, sometime in the 80s, she managed to live a normal life in relative seclusion, I assume, and wanted to completely forget about Rapture. These reporters or journalists, whatever you'd like to call them, I'll call them a production company. They acted on a tip. They found Sally, brought back all of the memories of probably all the trauma that she went through as a child, and pissed her off. So I really, really enjoy this episode. Even with it being as short as it is, it just shows that people from Rapture can possibly go to the surface again and live a normal life like they would have before going to Rapture or even being born in Rapture. So that leaves a lot for interpretation with the next game as well. There's still a lot of people who came up from Rapture, went to the surface, and we never heard from them again, like Eleanor Lamb, Bridget Tenenbaum, Charles Milton Porter, and a few others. So who's going to be in the next game? We don't know, but it's certainly possible that if Sally can go and live a normal life on the surface, then characters like these can go and live a normal life on the surface as well. Well, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else watching, I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. First and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Sky. His channel will be in the description below. He's the one that actually reminded me of these documentaries, so this video would not have been possible without him. So go show him some support. He's an awesome dude, and I guarantee you will enjoy his content. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video and want to see more like this or see more future Bioshock content, would you kindly hit that subscribe button? We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. And also, would you kindly like the video and hit the bell and hit all post notifications to never miss a future video or a future live stream. If you want to stay up to date with me or join our Rapture Family Discord server, the links to those will be down in the description, and you're all welcome to join the Discord. With that being said, thank you all so very much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will talk to you all very soon.